But he's 36. Like, there's going to be a time when Hikaru's sitting in his pineapple shirt and he's not playing chess anymore, and he's just going to have to watch me win tournament after tournament. He's going to be too old to even compete. Like, my reign is going to last so long that he's going to be at the age of, like, just like, he can't even walk anymore, and I'm still going to be winning.
He once sued Hikaru for
$1 million.
But these days, he prefers to let the chess do the talking. Hikaru versus Hans Niemann, titled Tuesday, the strongest online weekly grandmother tournament in the world, and these guys met in round 8. It was mouth-watering. Old versus young, Hikaru with white, and he plays some solid old man chess here, gets the long walking stick out, knight c3 now. Bit of a funky opening. It's called the Richter-Veresov attack. Looks a bit like a Jabava London, but the bishop's here. Of course, you'd never play that against Hans Niemann. He did an entire course on it. It was the greatest course ever made.
And that's why this course is the greatest of all time.
Of course it was. We now see the bishop stream out. Very solid pawn structure. Hikaru trying to trade pieces. That one dropping back. We're going to keep it moving. It's boring, old man chess, but fear not, there's some spice to come here. Knight b to d7, and Hikaru says, haha, you didn't take my knight, shatter my structure, which was a correct decision not to. The bishops are worth more here, so I'm dropping back and playing the explosive c4. We get a bit more liquidation. Bishop recaptures. Pawn h6. No time to blunder a piece. Bishop backing up to e7 to break the pin. Not that it was particularly dangerous. Very level position once more as the knight hops back here. And now Niemann expands with that c-pawn. We see another exchange. Bishop bouncing out. And this is some old man chess. Very, very dull. It's like watching some kind of quiz show in the afternoon with a hot drink and a biscuit. This isn't the fireworks we came for. No siree. The bishops leave the board. Bishop e7, rook fd1, queen b6. Let's all shake hands and go home. This one blocks the way. Even the ladies are leaving the board. But hang on. It's move 17. And Hans Niemann has what we can only describe in the business as a brain fart. He plays the move. Rook f to c8. A terrible, terrible blunder. Can you find the knockout continuation? And beware, there's only one winning move. So very well done if you found the move of rook takes on d7.
The only winning move.
It's the only move?
And the point is that even if you don't exchange the queens as we see in the game, if you do this one, then there's bishop takes here. And you've won 2 minor pieces for a rook. Now in the game, we saw the queens chopped off, then this same line, bishop takes, and that shows here the 2 minor pieces for the rook. Sometimes I like to just draw the paint for you, really visualize it. Many chess players love to draw. Here's Ding doing his best. Now we see the rook invading, the bishop drops back to cover, and after this rook doubles on the file here, knight c3 shuts the door on the connection there and traps this guy. You know, can't you wander over? Not quite, then this pawn drops. So we see this and this. Rook here, how about now? Wander over, trap that rook. Well, e5 comes. And if you attack again, there is going to be a double munch. So you can't quite do that. After e5, you'd have to go knight e4. But let's not go down that line, because we see something very similar in the game, starting with the immediate knight e4. Rook d3, of course. King f1. Big threat to take the rook. It's trapped. So e5 again, very important. Now if you try and trap that rook, you know, where's it going? I mean, if takes here, can you not take here? Yes, you can. That's very good for white. But black doesn't take here. Black plays this little intermezzo, then takes. Suddenly it's game on once more. It's actually a level position. So you don't want to be doing that. So we wind back here. That's the trick. That's why you can't immediately trap the rook with king e2. And that's why Hikaru now drops back the knight. Knight d6, technically best, by the way. But this played, going for the pawn. Knight c4, the most active way to defend and attack the bishop. But missed. f6 on the board. Understandable. Hans Niemann and Lord Hans Feingold are good friends. They've done a lot of training together. Hans Feingold loves this move. King e2 is now played. Rook backing up, and anyone for a knight maneuver, whispers Hikaru. A very nerdy chess notation joke. Now the rook's double on the d file, and g4. Vamos, let's expand. Give the king some room. These are the moves played in the game. Rook back to the c file. Niemann's really shuffling. Natural pawn structure with this bishop. Plenty of space to run around. Knight d5 played. Rook d1, and we soon get an exchange of a pair of rooks. Hikaru confident in his endgame skills here to beat out that rook with the 2 minors. What an octopus he now lands on the board. Knight d5 in response, and this is quite a serious threat. You have to be so careful. So this is the correct move. Retreating, yes, but stopping this invasion. Really astute play from Hikaru. He's such a good endgame player. We're spoiled by Magnus. We forget how good Hikaru is in endgame. Just as I say that, he gets the question mark. Rook c8's played. These ones leave the board. King takes back here. And bishop e7. And yes, you could invade, but then there's this. Trying to go for these pawns, and black's never in time, by the way. If you go for some kind of queenside kingside race, something like this, the pieces always flow back too quickly. White pawns push too fast, so you can't really start invading, going for that stuff. That was just one sample line. So king e6 was played. Bishop b4. Now the rook invades, but of course you've kicked the bishop away a bit. The king's back in the vicinity. The lines are a bit different. So Hikaru pushes the a pawn. Rook b2. And it's beautiful how he holds everything together. Knight d2. Correct starting move. Bishop pushed away. Comes to this square. Forced. You have to stay with the knight. Rook attacks bishop. Where are you going now? How are you staying with the knight? Knight e4. Forced. But hang on, what about this? g4 covers. So g6 threatens f5. That's why bishop e1. f5 played. Pawn captures. And I absolutely love how Hikaru now reconfigures his pieces. Excuse me. So first he covers the pawn here. Now rook c3 and king e2. Watch this. f3. I mean, the top masters make it look so elegantly simple. Bounces round the bishop. And this is what we call a wooden shield. Even Thorin Oakenshield would be proud of that one. I have been watching The Hobbit with my kids, kind of in my head. Now we see the rook slide over, knight c4 played, and we see the power of the 2 minors versus the rook. You just can't hold the pawn anymore. Of course, you can go for a few checks here. It's how the game proceeded, but the pawn eventually drops. King getting kicked from pillar to post, and what to say?
Chess spoke for itself.
At this point in the game, resigns because the a pawn is running through. There's really nothing. You haven't even got rook a1 to stop the march, and obviously the minors, the king, it's supporting it down. Even a second pawn could join the push if needed. Great game by Hikaru there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I had the cards on screen today. This is an actual thing you can get. It's called Chess with Cards, and you can use these visual cards to sit around the board as you teach. There's a map that goes with it too, brings to life all the different ideas that you have in a game of chess. So it's really a wonderful teaching aid, whether you're teaching yourself, a kid, a loved one, whatever it might be. Do have a look, link in the description. Don't mention them nearly enough. They really are very good. And there's this little pocket book here. Hopefully that's kind of coming into focus. Really nice little book. Loads of cool little pages and diagrams and chess with cards going on to bring it all to life. Thanks very much for watching, and have a look at the video on screen if you want another epic game of chess.